How's everybody doing today? This is Mr. Physics here with some safe news once again. So today I got a few good topics to talk about. I'm going to start off with cruise ships. I know everybody loves going on a cruise. I personally have not been on a cruise yet, but I really want to go. Maybe next year if things are back to normal, I might just do that. I kind of realized after this whole pandemic situation that you just never know when something can happen, and so you don't want to take things for granted because just like that, cruise could have been gone. So next year I definitely plan on going. If not next year, then the year after. And so the CDC just announced that there will be a no-sail order for cruise ships through September 30th, 2020. And it seems like they keep on pushing this date back, which makes sense. I mean, if cases are spiking, you can't just start cruising. And they said that on cruise ships, passenger and crew share spaces more crowded than most urban settings. So, on a cruise boat, the quarters, the mess halls, everything is really confined. It's not this, you have so many people that only have access to sometimes one cafeteria. The sleeping quarters may be like very close together. Maybe some people have to share room. So they're just taking precautions for everybody, passengers and crew members. And hopefully this will go away soon and things can get back to normal. And when it does, I'll be there. Maybe I'll start planning ahead of time, start paying on it just in case. Because I'm sure they'll always, refund your money if the closure extends past your travel date. And so, this next story, it's a fun story. It's about Disney World and some of the new closures that's happening. One of them being the Prime Evil World. And if you're not familiar, this one was in Animal Kingdom, and it's kind of similar to a roller coaster that you see in some smaller amusement parks. It's not super fancy or anything. You can pull up a picture. See, this is it right here. It's a really fun ride. I've been on it a couple times. I guess people complain because it's very similar to rides and normal amusement parks that are not in Disney. And but I think it's okay because this section that it's in, that you can see right here in Disney World, it's kind of like a fair. You know, they have different little games that you could play. Different fair games. They sell popcorn and hot dogs. So it's almost like a carnival. Here's a little picture of it right here. And so it fits that certain spot, because it's a carnival, so you have this carnival type ride. But I guess maybe they're gonna replace it with something else. And I'm sure a lot of people's gonna miss it. You know, it's very jerky. Does a couple spins. It's a really fun ride. The other one that's gonna go away is Stitch's Great Escape. And if you're not familiar with this one used to be the extraterrestrial alien encounter. So back when it was the alien encounter, people used to get really scared, especially little kids, and they ended up closing it down because it was freaking people out. It was just really scary. You know, you go in there and an alien all of a sudden appears in this tank, and next thing you know, the alien escapes, and you kind of feel him running by you, and he's like breathing on the back of your neck. It's very creepy. And so they changed it to Stitch being the alien. And I wrote it, you know, when it was Stitch, and it was still a really fun, interesting ride. My daughter was kind of freaking out by it. It was a little spooky, but because it was Stitch, it made it not that bad, you know, as opposed to some alien. And it's kind of sad that they're gonna get rid of it. Let's see if we can find. This is it here. So originally you had this just very scary monster bug-like alien, and I mean, look at this. It just looked scary. It was people were freaking out, being scared. They had to shut this thing down. It just didn't fit in with, you know, a lot of the younger kids. And personally, I really liked it. I think it's gonna be missed greatly. This is when they changed it, and now you have more fun-loving aliens. You got Stitch. See, now you have Stitch in the middle, and I thought it worked out, but I guess people still were kind of creeped out. See, I mean, look how fun it is. But maybe it was just a little too much. So now it's going away for good. It'll be missed. And the last thing from Disney World that's going away is the Riverlight Show, which I haven't seen, but I believe it's in Animal Kingdom. Yeah. And it's a fireworks show, but a lot of times when they get rid of these fireworks shows, they always replace it with another one. That's recently just happened in Epcot. They upgraded their fireworks show, or they might still be in the process. I think right now they have a temporary show, and next year for the anniversary is supposed to be the new show. So I'm looking forward to that. Next time I go to Disney, I want to check out both this one and the other one. The problem's been lately these last couple years, my little babies are afraid of the fireworks, and so normally when they start happening, we kind of try to go indoors, and you know, I don't want my kid getting all hysterical and crying at the happiest place on earth. So been kind of just passing it up. So the next thing I want to talk about is this coronavirus vaccine. I don't know if you guys heard, but this company, Moderna, is about to go in phase 3. testing of the coronavirus. And this is going to be a more expansive test involving more people, and seems like there's a good chance. They said that it's working, but you are going to feel sick at least for a day or so. You feel symptoms similar to the flu or COVID, but they go away real fast within a day. And this one person, he was a marathon runner, and he signed up for the trial. He took it, and he ended up passing out from it. And they gave him some fluids. He went to the hospital. They gave him some fluids, and next thing you know, he was feeling fine again. And now he's already training to run his next marathon. So I'm not sure if he was tested, but I know the vaccine was tested on him. So it didn't really go into detail. Did he have COVID before taking the vaccine, and did the vaccine make COVID go away, or did he take the vaccine before getting COVID, and does he plan on getting COVID and then seeing if he can get infected? But he said that it was very painful for that day that he had it, and he couldn't imagine getting the full-blown COVID. He said it's probably miserable. And I know a couple people that have it, and I know somebody that just got diagnosed with it this week, and they're bedridden. They're feeling terrible right now. Body aches, shortness of breath, the whole 9 yards. Feeling dehydrated, and I'm wishing her the best, her and her family. Praying for her. Hopefully this vaccine comes out sooner than later. And what's going to happen is it's going to be 2 parts that you have to take a month apart. So you take one dosage, say today, and then a month from today, you have to go and take the other dose. And they haven't talked about what happens if you catch it between doses. So this next trial is going to answer a lot of those questions. Because if you take the first dose and then you catch it while you're waiting to take the next dose, will it work? They don't really know yet. And so hopefully when you take the first dose, your body starts preparing, building antibodies, and that way if you catch it, your symptoms may be milder, and then once you get that last dosage, you're good to go, hopefully. And the method that they're using to create this vaccine is a lot different than previous. So what they're doing, they're using RNA of the vaccine and injecting that into humans, and then your body starts creating antibodies to fight off that RNA. And it's a minimal amount. They eventually, they started off doing a bigger dose, and people were getting really sick off the big dose, so they ended up cutting back. And I'm trying to see how much. I want to say it was like 250 microliters. I'm not sure. I'd have to find it. Yes. micrograms, and they ended up having to do a smaller dose, and that one was effective without getting people sick. They said that 3 people who received the 250 micrograms had their symptoms graded as severe, and so they're no longer doing it. It's just a little too much. So that's some really good news. Hopefully this vaccine comes out. You know, it's very speedy, but they said that the reason why it's so fast is because the way they're creating it, you know, using the RNA allows them to create this vaccine a lot faster than the old traditional way, which sometimes could take 10 to 15 years. So hopefully, you know, the side effects, they said it's not too bad, you know, mild side effects. We'll see. They said that in phase 3, if 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 it has a 60% success rate, it counts as being successful. So hopefully everything works out and we can get life rolling again and start doing the things we love without having to wear a mask. And you know, I haven't even shaken people's hands recently. It's just, or giving hugs. Like, everybody just seems so distant these days, right? I mean, it's very weird, you know. Usually giving hugs to people, shaking hands. And now you just like giving the head nod or the elbow. It's kind of, it's different, that's for sure. Another thing that I read, since we're talking about COVID, is can asymptomatic people spread the virus? And basically the answer is yes, because there, the word asymptomatic has so many different meanings. And you know, some people consider you asymptomatic if you only have slight symptoms, but you still have COVID. You know, your body just reacts to it differently, and therefore you could still spread it. And there's a pre-symptomatic period, and that's before you start showing symptoms. And so, say if it takes you a week to see symptoms, but you had COVID for the whole week, well, during that time period, you're spreading it around to people. And you can end up getting a lot of people sick and not know it. And that's why the cases are spreading so fast, because people are not feeling the symptoms and thinking that they're fine when in reality they have it, and so it's just spreading like wildfire. Um, but if you kind of treat it as you already have the symptoms, or you already have COVID, and people around you have it, then you decrease the chances of spreading it, because you're going to take precautions. You know, you're going to wear a mask. You're not going to get close to people, and that's going to slow down the spread a lot. Just that in on itself. You know, act as if. It's a very popular phrase. And one last thing for the travelers with COVID is they say that filling the middle seats on airplanes doubles the risk of catching COVID, which kind of makes sense, right? Because if you have two groups of people sitting on each side of the plane, well, then that's that risk, you know. One, just say one, the number one unit of risk. And if you put people in the middle, and you're sitting on the left lane, now you have 2 units of risk. You have the middle aisle plus the end aisle, which can infect you. So it makes absolute sense. But they said that the air right here, it remains relatively low because the air in the plane circulates and it has filters to keep the air clean in planes. But that doesn't mean that if somebody has it and they're walking up and down the aisle using the bathroom, that the droplets can't fall onto your armrest or your seat, and then you touch that and then touch your face and not catch it. So there's still a risk there. Don't think that flying is 100% safe with all the precautions that they normally take, because it's a coronavirus. So those air filters aren't going to prevent you from catching a cold on a plane, and it's not going to prevent you from catching this either. So, and that's it about coronavirus. Let's move on to something more appetizing. Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell, and it's sad to see that they're getting rid of some things. And some of the things they say they're getting rid of is the quesaritos, loaded grillers, which is so good too. I didn't really eat the quesaritos too much. The triple layer nachos, I love those, but I never got those too much because I would always get the Nacho Supreme, which they plan on getting rid of. That doesn't even make any sense. And the beefy Fritos burrito, plus all potato items. So your potato burrito, your loaded potatoes. I mean, these are some very popular, delicious items. You know, the potatoes, the Fritos burrito, the Nacho Supreme. Those are some of my favorite things there. So you're gonna have a lot of people sad to see this go. I don't really know why. I don't know if it's gonna be permanent or not. But I think a lot of this had to do with the COVID-19, and they started limiting their menu. These are some of the things they got rid of, and I guess they decided to just get rid of it. But I also heard that there were some testings down the line of, adding chicken tenders to their menu. And so maybe we could be seeing this whole revamping of Taco Bell in itself. But, my favorite thing is hard tacos, steak hard tacos. I'm a hard taco kind of guy. Mexican pizza and the Nacho Supreme. But I think they're still going to have the Bel Grande, so they'll still have the big one, just not a little personal Nacho Supreme. And I never got the Bel Grande, it's just too big. Like, I would just get the Nacho Supreme with the hard taco and call it a day. As long as they have those other items and Baja Blast, I guess I'll be able to survive. Hopefully they do. I know a lot of people are going to be upset. My wife loves the Fritos burrito. And that's going to be it for that. So moving on. Here's a fun one. UFO sighting. Alien craft spotted in China. Definitely not a blimp or balloon. And this is the video right here. You can see it. I mean, I guess it definitely is a UFO. I mean, unidentified flying object. I have no idea what that is. It could be a piece of trash flying around in the air. It said it's not a balloon though, but who knows? I mean, from this picture here, his little zoomed in photo right here on the right. I have no idea what that is. It's like a sword. It's just very weird. I mean, what kind of spaceship is that? If it was a spaceship. So, I'm a big believer in aliens. I believe that they exist somewhere out there. Whether they came here or not. If it's possible if they exist and they're really advanced, then more than likely they probably know that we're here, right? They're probably observing us as we would observe them. If we went to Mars and they had a very primitive Martians on there living in tents and stuff, well, they wouldn't even know that we have satellites orbiting the planet, watching their every move, because they don't know what a satellite is, so they don't even know to look for it. And if they saw a glimmer of it in the sky, I mean, they would think it's a star, or it just wouldn't register. So it's kind of the same principle. If they had an advanced species, a million years more advanced than us, then we probably would never know. And if it was real, I mean, you probably wouldn't see it. Or if you saw it, it may be a glimpse, just like this. Or just like the Martians seeing our satellite orbiting, they might see that little shimmer for a second and then it's gone. So, because it's orbiting the planet, so it's not going to stay in one place the whole time, unless they wanted to. And, that's kind of interesting. But I do believe that they're out there somewhere in the cosmos in some shape or form, whether it's bacteria or some primitive, Amazon-like species, or possibly some super advanced species. They're all possible. So I guess we'll see, hopefully, one day soon, that scientists predict that within 20 years we should have evidence of life on other planets besides Earth. So I'm going to hold them to that. I'll check back in 20 years and see what's going on. And the last story for today, I don't know if y'all heard about this. A few years ago, they had our first comet or asteroid or object from outside the solar system. And it was discovered in Hawaii. It's called Oumuamua. And originally they thought that it was a comet, but when it came through our view, it didn't have a tail. Like it wasn't acting like a comet. It didn't have a tail. Wasn't ejecting any particles off of it. It was just this solid cigar-shaped like object floating through space, and people were just baffled. Some people today still think it's an alien spaceship. Really, nobody has no idea what it is. But the scientists are claiming that maybe it's an asteroid. Maybe it was an asteroid that got ejected, they say, possibly by a Neptune-like planet. Say a Neptune-like planet threw an asteroid out into space from something similar to like our Kuiper belt, and there it goes. They actually found another one, Borisov. So now we have two, and they both come from two different places. The Oumuamua comes from the star system Vega, which is kind of ironic because if y'all seen Contact, well, that species of aliens that contacted us were from Vega. So that's kind of like a fun little Easter egg there. Who knows? I can't remember where they said Barisal was from, but I do know that it's not from the same place as Vega. Which, if they were alien species, playing a role to it. And Barisal, they say acts like a comet, so it has a tail and behaves very similar to a comet. Here it is, right here. Beautiful. So the first comet from another solar system, and our first asteroid. Can't remember where they said it was from. Capella. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Can't see it. I don't want to spend a lot of time here digging it up, but maybe in the next video I'll do a little research, find it, and let y'all know the update on the comment if you're interested. Yeah, I can't find it. I could find it, it's just gonna take me a while. I'm gonna have to like dig, and I don't want to waste y'all's time here looking for this answer. And I know I've seen it, I just can't remember. But that's it for today. I hope y'all like these little articles that I brought up. Thought they were kind of interesting. Talked about from everything from Taco Bell to some Disney to the coronavirus to UFOs. And I'll be back tomorrow, if not tomorrow, the next day with a new video, a new update. And let me know what you think down in the comments. This is episode number 2. And so I'm up in the process of updating my equipment. Right now I bought a brand new camera, but I don't have the right connector to connect it to my computer yet. I got that coming in the mail. And I also have a new microphone as well. So hopefully it makes my voice sound a little louder. I upped the volume on my mic this time because I noticed the last video my volume was really low. And so hopefully this one's a little bit better for y'all. And thank you, and stay safe and enjoy. And don't forget to click on the bell, hit that like button, and subscribe. Thank you.